Good evening, everyone, and thanks for being here to this standing room only audience. I'm David Cohen, and I'm the husband of Carla Cohen of blessed memory, who is one of the founders and starter of Politics and Prose. So we're here to welcome the celebration of Jeremy Ben-Ami's A New Voice for Israel, Fighting for the Survival of the Jewish Nation. And I'm particularly pleased to be here. In the interest of full disclosure, I'm an active supporter of J Street that Jeremy helped found, and I've walked the corridors with him and many others, loads of rabbis at different times, and I welcome you to Politics and Prose and this family. Jeremy's personal and reflective book represents an important contribution to an ongoing matter that engages us as Americans on matters affecting the Middle East, including Israel and Palestine, and for many of us who are supporters of Israel as a homeland for Jewish people, as a democratic state, and as a pluralist state. As a community institution, Politics and Prose believes in a thriving and robust free marketplace of ideas. A New Voice for Israel exemplifies what Politics and Prose is all about. And this legacy that Carla and Barbara Mead began with the staff of Politics and Prose and you, the engaged customers, this legacy continues under the new ownership of Brad Graham and Lissa Muscatine. Now, I want to just take a minute on some brief history on Israel and Palestine in this store. Under Carla's chairing, the free marketplace of ideas, this very place, exposed in a public forum at Politics and Prose the wrong-headedness of Mearsheimer and Walt's book, The Israel Lobby and U.S. Foreign Policy. There's a lot of questions. Should they have a place to discuss their ideas? And Carla and her team said yes, but the give and take of ideas exposed what Mearsheimer and Walt were about. Politics and Prose has also hosted writers who present the Palestinian perspective and scholarly writers such as Bernard Lewis and perceptive journalists such as Tom Friedman, Jennifer Griffin, Thomas Lippman, Greg Meyer, Milton Viorst, Robin Wright, among many others. I'm particularly proud because at other times Politics and Prose has hosted writers who are moral leaders in Israel. More than once, David Grossman, Amos Oz, Aleph Bet Yehoshua have graced our portals. Now, Jeremy Ben-Ami has accomplished in his book a powerful case for a new definition of pro-Israel advocacy. And I'm just going to quote 3 sentences. Victory means ensuring the long-term security and survival of Israel as the democratic home of the Jewish people. Victory means defining borders for Israel that the world recognizes and gives Israel enduring legitimacy in the community of nations. And it means helping ensure that Israel is solidly rooted in the values, ethics, and principles of the Jewish people. This is a personal book of Jeremy's family, deeply involved as pioneers, builders, and fighters, I would say risk-takers, to create Israel. It is also a story of Jeremy's personal journey, not as a young man alienated from politics or participation in Jewish activities, but it's still a journey. Jeremy came to this call and passion out of his American experience as an activist, and one who came to resolve questions about his background combined with the trauma of the Rabin assassination. Now, lots of opinion data exists on what American Jews think. The public agenda is often defined by a group that reflects 8% of American Jews. The political playing field should not be left to the small minority, loud as it may be. There are other voices that need to be heard in dealing with real security concerns that Israel faces and overcoming those who delegitimize Israel. Jeremy calls for rewriting the rules on our relationship with Israel so that we get beyond the yes or no proposition. We should have a serious relationship with Israel, and that means there's a time to hug and a time to wrestle, a time to question and a time to argue. The relationship should reflect our own public, ethical, and moral values, and that means there's also a time to support. It surely should embrace critical thinking. We should not fear dealing with difficult issues, even if they lead to initial argument. In Jeremy's work, he has shown a relationship to Israelis who run the gamut from former security officials in the Mossad, Shin Bet, IDF. If you were on Capitol Hill today, you might have run into some of them, meeting with members of Congress, and orthodox and pluralist thinkers, such as Moshe Halbertal, who represents, as an Orthodox Jew, a passion for democracy and pluralism. It's a continuing journey with much work to do. Let us welcome Jeremy Ben-Ami to Politics and Prose.
Thank you so much, David, and it is easy to tell that you have spent a lot of time around some very fine thinkers and writers. That was wonderful as an introduction, and I am deeply honored to be here. This is my neighborhood bookstore. This is my neighborhood, and the memory of Carla and the legacy that you have built here is truly a testament to the marketplace of ideas that we think is not only the best of the political world in Washington, D.C., but I hope also the best of the Jewish people. So thank you very much for having me here this evening and for that wonderful introduction. There are many people in the room as well that I would like to just say thank you to. There are a few people here who read the book in its early stages, who participated in fact-checking and research and other work on it. There's a number of staff of J Street, and rather than running through everybody by name, I just want to acknowledge that I have some friends in the room and some people who mean a lot to me. I will, however, acknowledge that I brought along a little fan club just to skew the audience a little bit. So if you're thinking of asking me a tough question or saying something not so nice, just remember that my wife, Eliza, and my young children, Shira and Ari, are here as well, and I'm very proud of them. And as I say in the introduction and the dedication of the book, the work that I do and the work that we do at J Street is as much for the future generations as it is for our own security and hopes and dreams in our generation today. And so I'm very, very pleased that they are here with me today. As David said, I'm the president and the founder of J Street, which is the Pro-Israel, Pro-Peace Lobby, a new organization that started about 3 years ago to fill a vacuum in the American Jewish political scene. And over the course of those 3 years, I have been asked a lot, why did you start this organization? What motivated you personally? What are you trying to achieve? What problems are you trying to solve? And what are the solutions that you are offering? And in the 21st century, you might have expected me to try to tweet the answers in 140 characters or less, but I'm a little bit old-fashioned, and I decided to write a book about it. And the goal of the book, and what I'd like to do in a few minutes tonight in laying it out, is to answer some of those questions. First of all, to put the story of J Street and the movement we're trying to build of pro-Israel, pro-peace American Jews into a personal and a historical context. The second is to lay out some new thinking, I hope, and perhaps some challenging thinking on three central challenges that face those of us who care about Israel and the Jewish community, namely how can we ensure Israel's survival along the lines that that David outlined as a Jewish home and a democratic state that is true to our values. How can we ensure that